Hello everyone, I'm delighted to be here today. When I think of this Jesus proverb, your heart will always be where your riches are. I wonder where the hearts of many are today, in the chaos of misfortunes that are befalling mankind, and in the beauty of good works and kindness that have mended the broken and improved society. Indeed, while many are trying to build with their heart in the right place, so many others are scheming to destroy and inflict pain with their hearts hardened on humanity. Where do you belong? You see, I am musing about this because I feel that whatever you do with the talents gifted to you, with the opportunities given to you, and with the life you have, reflect your values, which you impact on or inflict on society, and reflect your level of intellect, by which I mean how much you know about the source of these talents, opportunities, and life. You may not be immediately conscious of the right or wrong of your words and actions towards others, but it is pertinent to know that they may cause emotional or mental pain, physical harm, and destructive choices to others, or they may give emotional support and joy, physical well being, and a better life on the positive side. And so it is important that our hearts are always in the right place at all times. And the right place is with God, who stores up the good treasures you have placed in His care for life with Him after life spent here on earth. It will not rot like those stored in gaining the whole world and losing your soul in the rot of hell. So, back to the parable. I want us to look at the whole passage of John chapter 6, verses 19 to 21 to further explain it. It goes, do not store up riches for yourselves here on earth, where moths and rust destroy, and robbers break in and steal. Instead, store up riches for yourselves in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and robbers cannot break in and steal. For your heart will always be where your riches are. That's it. First, we should know that our treasures or riches are our values or the things we consider valuable and will do all in our power to preserve, protect, and show off. And our hearts being there means what you are always mindful of. Hence, we are always mindful of these valuables in order to preserve, protect, and show off. So, the passage is telling us that whatever we are mindful of depicts the values we live on, and that will either lead us to everlasting reward or condemn us to death. And so, we should not value things that are worthless and do not last, but value things that give both good and everlasting benefits. So, let me associate this parable with the following scenarios. When parents are neglectful of their children for all reasons that they have, while the children are corrupted or abused by others, they need to review where their treasures lie. When religious and institutional heads, community and societal leaders misuse their powers and authorities to deceive their wards or abuse the helpless in their charge for wanton and selfish pleasures, they need to review where their treasure lies. When the leaders of a country send their children abroad to study and leave their country's educational system to suffer as poultry houses and with unpaid teachers and dropout pupils, and when these leaders neglect the health system to always patronize international health care, while their citizens are unable to afford health care and their country's health system is underpaid, on the start and unequipped to render care to the sick citizenry, as well as when they embezzle or self-allocate and ship the national treasury to accounts overseas, while their citizenry wallow in poverty, lack of basic human needs, infrastructural deficiency, desperation and aggression towards one another, where, where do their value lie? They are certainly not with nor for their people and country, and certainly not with God. When we abuse opportunities of employment to become opportunities of corruption and oppression of clients in our places of work by imposing tips, taking brown envelopes, or thank you gifts at the expense of truth and service, we need to review where our treasure lies. And when you spend your life pleasing others than God and using the talents He gifted you to gain the whole world rather than save souls along with yours, you need to review where your treasure lies. When you cheat, abuse, and hurt your fellow man and woman, when you let pride, hate, and envy consume you to do harm and injustice to others, when you let selfishness and greed cause you to ruin the lives of others, when you value money over honesty and service, and when you indulge in gluttony, sloth, and lust, where lie your treasures? It may seem that this world is all we have, but it is not. We are all working towards an ultimate goal, and that is heaven, God. So, whatever you do, especially to the least of your neighbors, I mean the children, the wards, the citizens, and lives in your charge and care, you do to God, in whom you aim to admitting someday as your reward. Whatever you do with the life given to you, either to heal, to save, and to improve other lives and society, or to steal, to kill, and to destroy lives, property, and society, will determine your reward or destination after this life of yours is spent on earth. The way you live and how you use opportunities and positions to impact on others are the treasures you store as your values, and they reflect the contents of your heart and to some extent of your upbringing. However, however, we can control this by choice. Let us make a firm resolve to choose God so that our heart may be with Him. And when our heart is with Him, it fills and enlightens it with His virtues, gifts, and fruits as treasures that make us unite with Him here in this world and in the next. The alternative, trust me, is not good at all, but ends here on earth, where moths and rust destroy, and robbers break in and steal. This alternative is a self-delusion to value money, cheating, stealing, killing, corruption, undeserved fame, violence and destruction, kidnapping and abuse of fellow men and positions, etc., which will make one lose everything, both body and soul, in eternal damnation. So, parents should please review their values and channel their hearts in the right place, which is to embrace their vocation, to give their obligatory attention to their children, to feed, to shelter, and to educate them, and most especially to guide them in the way of the Lord, whom they will eventually rest upon when they become independent of you, parents. As for the leaders, it may seem to them now that they own their subjects and even the whole world, but they will certainly be worse for it in their losses. This is because it is better for them to be drowned than to cause any of the little ones to go astray. Therefore, all leaders, including leaders of ports, should invest themselves in the knowledge of their office and duty and be more responsible, accountable, selfless, and service driven towards their works. And you, where does your treasure lie, or what do you value? Does whatever it is reflect God in you? Do your conduct, your works, and the use of your talents reflect where your heart is? So, is your heart with God in His goodness and love for your soul salvation, or with gaining the whole world with obscenity, vile wickedness, and other vice to lose your soul? The love of money, vengeance, and pride, as well as other vices you attach value to, are temporary pleasures without lasting benefits. They will rot before you. On the other hand, when your heart is with God, it means that you have faith, hope, and love in Him. And in return, He will clothe you in more virtues, so that His temperate spirit will moderate all your wayward tendencies. His just spirit will help you stand for truth, righteousness, and justice. His spirit of fortitude will strengthen you in sorrow and persecutions, and the spirit of prudence will guide your conducts and decisions. And with his gifts of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, counsel, fortitude, piety, and holy fear, he will help you through your talents, your works, your offices and positions of service to mankind, and your vocations as parents, priests, social workers, etc. It is these that give everlasting benefits for spiritual and ethereal joy, peace, love, kindness, tranquility, gentleness, and more in you and in the lives of all you impact on, starting and sustaining here on earth and into the arms of God, whom your treasures lie. The choice is yours. Just know that the knowledge of your destination is first felt here in this world. You know it before you get there. Even good people show some fear of uncertainties for some reasons. How much more the vicious order? The body you are so mindful of satisfying at the expense of others dies and rots to dust. But the soul lives on into a destination fitting for how mindful we were of it. And define asking us to embrace good values for everlasting reward with God. May God help us as we do this. This is my musing today. Thanks for listening. See you again by God's grace. Amen.